Hello everybody, welcome to my channel 25th and South. My name is Cece and today you're watching a tiny living speed build. Yes, so Tiny Living just came out and I did purchase it, and I've been trying to think of a build to do. Of course, I've done smaller homes on the channel before, but they were not obviously considered tiny builds. So with the new pack, Tiny Living, you have 3 different types of homes that you can build: a micro home, a tiny home, and then a small home. And I ended up doing this build, making a small home, meaning it only can have 100 tiles. I think with tiny builds, you can only have 64 tiles, and then with micro builds, you can only have 32 tiles, and that's both floor and ceiling, because if you have a upper level, then that will also have a floor and ceiling. So if you want to reap the benefits of the Tiny Living residential lots, then you have to be within those parameters. And some of the benefits include cheaper bills and better relationships, or closer relationships, that kind of thing. And I really do love this pack. I love all of the furniture in it. I haven't really played with any of the casts, but I love all of the build by items. They're so pretty, and I try to use as much as I could in this build. But essentially what I wanted to create was a converted silo. So for those of you who are familiar with farming, silos tend to hold grains and other things on farms. And there are actually a lot of these little converted silos, and silos can be big, they can be small. And so I'll throw up a picture of kind of my inspiration for this build. But I wanted to have, like I said, a converted silo, and then inside have 1 bedroom, a bathroom, a kitchen, and then a living space, and then an outdoor living space. And as I was putting it together, I was also kind of weaving together who would live in this particular silo, and I came up with a family, a household. So this is Bonnie Moffat and then her little niece Harper. And so Bonnie is a freelance computer engineer. She designs programs and things for businesses, and she works from home, and she's kind of a loner. She's sort of paranoid, and she's I forgot her third trait, but essentially she's not the type of person that would really live with other people. She likes her own space and likes being by herself and being with her thoughts. But her younger brother and his wife recently passed away, and she became guardian of little Harper. And so she moved Harper in, and of course in this build there's only 1 bedroom, so that's where the Murphy bed comes in. Bonnie purchased a Murphy bed, and so she sleeps in the living room on the Murphy bed, and then Harper sleeps in the bedroom. And Harper is just a lot of fun. She's a goofball, and she's her aspirations are motor. So living on this little sort of hidden away, hideaway lot here in Brindleton Bay is just going to be so much fun for her, because there's going to be so much stuff to do. And even though she's really upset over the death of her parents, she finds solace just kind of being here in the quiet and kind of getting to know her aunt, who she never really knew before moving in this house, because she and her parents, they lived in San Myshuno, and they just died in a tragic accident in the city. And so now she lives here in the countryside with her Aunt Bonnie. But that is the story of who lives here. And this build, came together pretty quickly. Now, I will say this was my second attempt at this particular build, and the first one was completely different because I didn't really know what I wanted to do. But when I had to redo this particular recording again because my software messed up on me, it just sort of came together pretty quickly, especially after looking at more inspiration photos on Pinterest. But with this build, like I said, the inside space, you kind of walk in through the kitchen for the front door, as you saw. Then there's a little utility closet off to the side that will hold laundry, and then you have the bedroom, and then there's a big walk-in closet. Now, you might think, why have a huge walk-in closet? What about space? But only 2 people live here. There's not a lot of space in the bedroom. The bedroom is literally made for a bed. And so, I keep the wardrobe nice and big so that both of them can house all their clothes and house any other items that might clutter up the space. You would just throw in that walk-in closet. Plus, it provides for some fun gameplay. Kids can play in the closet, you can woohoo in the closet, you can kind of do all sorts of fun stuff in there. So as you saw, the house came together pretty quickly, and now I'm just decorating on the inside. At this point, I still didn't know what I wanted to do for landscaping, so that's why I hadn't started on that yet. But I just went in and kind of put some clutter down. Now, in tiny living, I think minimalism is very important. So I wanted this place to feel like Bonnie has lived here for a while, but I also didn't want it to feel too busy because she does live in a small space, and if you have too much stuff in a small space, you will feel it. You will feel very claustrophobic very quickly. And then right here on this porch, I wanted this to be the outdoor dining area. Now, because Bonnie is a bit of a loner, she probably doesn't really utilize this space that much for parties, but I wanted to put this together just in case when you download it, you want to have a sim who is a little bit more conjovial, and that way they would have that fun outdoor living space for people to come over. And as you saw, I was working on the roofs. Now, once I got done putting all of this stuff together, you can't even tell that the original sort of build was a silo, and that was kind of the point, was that you converted it to where it just looks like a normal home. Now, one thing I kind of wish the game had was metal wallpaper or metal looking wallpaper, but I did use this Get to Work wallpaper for the silo portion, and then that Sulani sort of old wood on the newer editions. And as you saw, I did replace the TV console from Tiny Living with that fireplace, and kind of my thinking was it does get cold in Brundleton Bay, and I wanted them to have a fireplace. There's not currently a air conditioning unit in this house, and I don't think I'm going to put one in because I feel like, yes, it has been electrified as far as they've been wired for electricity, but I don't think Bonnie would really want that kind of utility, or maybe not want air conditioning in this space, because you can easily go outside for fresh air if you're feeling a little hot, and then in the wintertime you can just put on some fire and heat the whole space up nice and cozy. So now I'm starting to work on the landscaping, and I really wanted the landscaping to be lush and full, and therefore to be a lot of activities. Probably in the beginning just activities for Bonnie to do, but now that she has Harper, she's added in some more kid-friendly activities for Harper to do. So there's going to be like beekeeping, there'll be swing sets, there's a tent that maybe Harper can sleep in the summer times. And there is an observatory in the back and bonfire area and chess table. So there's a lot to do outside. And I've noticed that there have been, some complaints, as there are in the Sims community, about the lot sizes and not having actual small lots. But if you are someone who's been paying attention to the tiny living movement in real life, then one of the benefits that people who decide to go tiny is they want to be able to really connect with the outdoors and have maximum outdoor space and have their living space just be more functional, a place where they sleep, where they prepare food, where they might do work, but then outside they're sort of surrounded by huge outdoors and just sort of sprawling areas. So I don't mind not having necessarily smaller lot sizes. I think putting a tiny build on a 20 by 15 or a 30 by 20, which this build is on, works just fine, and it gives you room to if you want to have your tiny house be off the grid, then you can have a garden and things like that, and it allow you the space to do that. For instance, I put a little bee keeping unit in this particular build, so there's enough space to where Bonnie can sort of handle her bees and it not be too close to the house or too close to an area where Harper could get stung. Now you will see me put the swing set and the tent kind of near the bees house, and then I do move it. I can't remember if I moved it off camera or on camera, because that's when I thought, oh no, we can't have the bees so close to the swing set because Harper could get stung. So I did move it out of the way, and you'll see that in the screenshots that it has been moved if I do stick it down here on screen. But here I'm making the little space for the honeybees. This is another thing that I found on Pinterest when I was trying to decide what would a space like that look like, and I saw these little sheds where you put your little honey boxes set up, or your bee boxes set up. And so here I'm putting the swing set way too close to that, and I will move it because I did remember the possibility of getting stung is real. But for now, I did want to put in, like I said, a lot of nice fun outdoor stuff to do, so that especially on a beautiful day, you're not sitting bored inside your small home, you're outside. And both of these Sims that live here are very outdoorsy, so they'll probably spend the majority of their time when they're at home outside playing, hanging out with the bees. In this particular lot, there's like a beach down the way, so they'll probably be at the beach a lot. So they probably will never be inside, only if it's nighttime or something like that. But I really enjoyed putting this build together. I did, if you follow me on Twitter, like I said, have trouble with my first build, and I got super frustrated, but it kind of worked out in the end, because putting this particular build together came so quickly. It just came together, it just sort of flowed right out of me, and it could be because I did have that little practice run in the beginning, or it could be I just sort of finally hit some inspiration and decided that I knew what I wanted to do with the space. So we're just now putting together those little final details, final touches throughout the build. You'll notice that I didn't clutter, like I said, didn't clutter the inside too much, but then when I was taking screenshots, I decided to add just a little extra clutter on the inside because it did kind of look super sterile in a way. But yeah, this build is just about done. So if you enjoyed it, please let me know by giving me a happy little thumbs up, by hitting that like button. Also, comment down below if you have tiny living. What do you think of it so far? Have you been building tiny homes? Has it been easy, hard for you? just let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts on the pack. Also, if you haven't already and you want to see more content from me, please subscribe. I obviously do speed builds, I also do cast videos, and I have a couple of Let's Plays here on the channel, and I'd love to have you join. But again, my name is Cece, and I promise never to break your game. Bye.
I know it's hard. Yeah, I know it's rough, but we'll make it through, and I'll back you up wherever you're going. I'm going to. I'll follow you through the black and the blue. Whatever the mountain, we'll climb to the next. Honey, I'm with you through life and to death. You're afraid.